Hello, I'm Seerath, and today I'm here to discuss data layer in Google Tag Manager. Now, by definition, data layer is a JavaScript object which stores variables with the primary objective to store data points. Now, let us go to the preview mode and see what does a data layer looks like. So, let's wait for it to open. We'll click continue and this pop-up opens up. See, this is our data layer. So these are basically some values that we can use in our Google Tag Manager for like sending data to Google Analytics or Facebook Pixel to create triggers and many more purposes. Now, what benefit is given to us by data layer? So it enhances data accessibility, data continuity, and data consistency. This is very, very useful for us. So let's see, how does data layer enhance data accessibility? If we are accessing data, in complicated cases, accessing data through JS or CSS might be really difficult. In these cases, data layer is very, very useful for us. As we know that Tag Manager is monitoring everything that is happening on our website. Like it's showing us the tags, the variables, if we go and it keeps on changing. So we can take data from the data layer and create triggers according to that. So it helps us to avoid the coding part. We can simply create the triggers using the user interface given to us by the Google Tag Manager. And the only thing that we need to do is that we need to ask the developer to pass the values in the data layer so that we can identify them. Let's say that we want to identify a button click. So we just need to ask the developer to send the desired value and we can identify it and create a trigger using the same. Now, for developer, it is very easy to put things in the data layer because they can easily edit it. So this is how data layer enhances data accessibility. Now, data continuity. If we are using CSS rules, our website's code can crack because CSS keeps on changing. The class can get edited or any such thing can happen and the code of the CSS will change and the logic that we have written based on that CSS will crack. So this is very crucial. Let's go to our website and let's just see. Here, if I see, I go to inspect and I see that there are several elements on this website, right? And we have classes and CSS based on that. But as we have discussed, the website CSS keeps on changing. So if the CSS is changed, our logic will not work. But if we use data layer for writing the same logic, then we won't have any problem. The code will not crack. So this is how data layer helps us to achieve data continuity. Now we will discuss data consistency. Let's say that we have an e-commerce website and we have to track product name, shipping cost, and all those things. Now we can write a custom JavaScript code for each of them, or we can create variables very simply in GTM and pass the value through data layer to it. So this ensures data consistency. So it is very, very useful for us. As we discussed, it helps us to enhance data accessibility, data continuity, and data consistency. Now, a question might come that the original purpose of GTM is to reduce the dependency on the developer. And by using data layer, we are asking the developer to do more work. So how are we reducing the dependency? So the most important thing is that we cannot eliminate the dependency. We can just reduce it. There is going to be some time or the other when we are going to use the help of a developer because they have access to the CMS and we do not, and we can very easily pass the data in data layer or do any such activity which can make the process very easy. Now we as we do not have to ask the developer for putting the data layer, for setting up the data layer again and again, it can be just done once and then the data can be used for all the services like Google Analytics, Facebook Pixels, and setting up the initial data layer can be a task, but once it's done, it can be standardized and it can be done in each sprint, right? So this really helps us to reduce our dependency indeed, because we will not be disturbing the developer time and again. Like manually editing the code is still very difficult. Like if we have discussed that if we are editing the, let's say, the tag of Google Analytics manually, then we will have to disturb the developer a lot more. But with data layer, we just want the initial setup and then we'll be done. Now if we go to our website and we go to the console, type data layer, right? Yeah, yeah. So it is showing the object. If we click it, we see a JS object. So JS object is basically a kind of a variable which stores multiple variable inside it in the form of key value pairs. Now this data layer object here is created by GTM. If we go to the admin mode and go inside install Google Tag Manager, here we can see that this is the name of the object, and here we can verify this that we are seeing this. Okay, now here we can see that let's say that we are getting event. Now what if we want to track this event? Right? We want to track this event. gtm.dom is the event for DOM ready, and for window loaded, it is gtm.load. So we want to track this event out of our data layer. So what can we do? We will like simply go to the workspace and wait it for like let it load. Now we will go to variables and we will scroll down to create our own user defined variable. We will click new here. We have variable configuration. So we will select the variable type as data type, data layer variable. And here we will very carefully copy the name that we want to track because this is case sensitive. And we will name it as data layer event variable. And let's hit save. Now let us go to the preview mode and check that what will be the result of this creation. Like we created a variable and let's see how is it going to reflect. If we go here and click variable, we see that data layer event variable is created and it is showing us this gtm.init. But if we go to, let's say, container loaded, the value is updated. As we know, the value of a variable is updated. So this is also getting updated. Let's say that we now go back to our website and here let's click inspect and let's go to console. Now let's create a new array. Let's name it digital data. hit enter, it's created. Now let's push, this, a name value pair. It's success. Now let's access it back. Even if it is the only object inside it, but still we will have to access it using the number. So here, if we want to access it, we will write digital data dot digital data 0, like the 0th object, dot name, and we get the value. Now let's do the same thing inside Google Tag Manager. We go here, we go to the variables, click user defined variables, and this time we select JavaScript variable and give the name as like copy it from here, but instead of 0 it is dot, like instead of brackets it is dots. Yeah, so it's done. Now name the variable, name. We hit save. Now let's go back to preview mode. Here we will see a problem that initially the variable that we have created will not be defined. Now the reason behind it is that each time we click refresh, the value of the console is gone. So if we go here it is showing undefined, right? Now let's go and open our this again and click inspect, click console. So it's showing us the things that we have already done. Push and we access it. Now it's there. Now, if we go back and we see here, up till this point, our name was undefined. The name from data layer variable was undefined, but now our name is defined. So this is how we can work around with data layer and use it for our own advantage. Thank you.